Alrighty, well, we are going to go ahead and get into the game. Here we are with a boogie down. Best view ever. Good job. XL2 Academy Mayhem. I really hope that Mayhem can pull it back just a little bit.
Mayhem certainly hope that as well, but also if you're an XL2 fan, this is what XL2 needed, because if the XL2 had lost the series, which they still could, it would be a disaster that very well could knock them out of the playoffs. So this has been the redemption tour for XL2, and thus far they have yet to disappoint.
Again, this is another situation. Mayhem Academy, they absolutely need a win, a draw. Basically, it is a victory for XL2, so that is not going to be enough for them here. XL2, they're going to be running Flower on the Widowmaker, and Mangachu just getting some good chip damage off with that damage-boosted Mercy.
And the issue is that you let Mangachu get this damage, he's getting a tire quickly, and Moopy got caught.
Yeah, that was the halt hook.
Initiation is a problem for Mayhem Academy right now. It's very clear. That's why they got stuck on Nambani second, and already it's hurt them on Horizon first.
It's hurt them already, and now it's just the difficulty of trying to get in on this Widowmaker, right? If you try to dive in with your Diva, with your Genji, primarily the Genji and Winston are the ones who have like the most difficult time because their momentum does get stopped by the halt. Now they do have Mikey A on the point here, just trying to draw back any forces. We'll see who goes back on XL2. It is going to be Mangachu with that Junkrat to try and deal with Mikey.
Which is good because Mangachu isn't hitting the main force if he's going for Mikey. This is a nice swap here for Mayhem Academy, so long as no one gets picked off. Moopy under fire, gonna be able to back off and get healed. Mayhem starting to get closer to the point, forcing rotations out of XL2. You see Clowman under pressure, just barely healed up. Flower's under pressure as well, but XL2 is able to withstand here. Now the recon site is up. Valkyrie in play for Mayhem Academy. They're gonna dive in here and try and make it happen. They lose Moopy immediately, Valkyrie or no?
Yeah, it was just completely set up once again. Theresa, the halt is doing so much work for them now. Mangachu still alive is the biggest threat, really. That AoE damage, the burst damage is just so hard to try and heal through. He's gonna rip tire now, try and force them all back, and he will find Moopy.
Now, I don't actually know if you need the tire there. I think you could have gotten Moopy without it. That is a slight, perhaps, mismanagement of resources, but overall, XL2 has been doing very well here so far.
Having lost Flower, I think they just did not want to take that chance at all. And so using that Rip Tire, you know, it's not the worst. He does build it up rather quickly. Mangachu, though, now not getting the poke off. He's only at 6% toward that tire.
They're not going to have it for Za. And Za, if he can get to Mercy, it'd be huge. You have Adam in the back, but Moopy falls immediately. He falls in the beginning. Za doesn't have anything to work with if he won the blade. Mayhem's tank initiation has been so tough, and part of it is that Flower is chunking these tanks with headshots as they come in.
Yeah, Moopy, as he was jumping up, he was already at about a quarter HP before he even landed. That's what's not supposed to happen as a Winston. You need Krems there with a defense matrix covering you while you're jumping up before you can even get that barrier down. And so now, Mayhem Academy, they're down to 1.5 minutes. Goliath just got his trance. He's going to be able to answer Za's blade. Here comes a self-destruct.
Self-destruct, leading away from Krems, does not connect. Moopy will get res back up. It's a risky res for Paintbrush, what he's known for, but it works out in this case. Here's the blade. Oh, denied!
Oh.
The blade comes out, and Mangachu responds. Meanwhile, he has a tire, and this tire could be a big one. Your team is having troubles. What do you need? Run them over! Gets Moopy. D-Mex the Diva. That's exactly what they needed. Mangachu, again, playing well, especially on this wrap.
Whole hog gonna be used just to clear them, sweep them off the point here, and now it's down to the final push for Mayhem Academy. They used almost everything into that. Moopy will have the Primal Rage, but still, that's just gonna be him to use to just stay alive. He hasn't been able to get up onto the high ground alive in one piece now.
XL2, one team fight away from getting this first point hold and very likely being able to secure the series. Mikey, you were the hero last week, here in this very same position. What do you have in store? Now, he's gonna focus on Clone Man. Pulse Bomb about to be up. Gets Clone Man at the aid of Za. One early pickup, diving in. Pulse Bomb up, hooked, but not killed. Rewinds out. Mayhem Academy staying alive here. Clowman might be brought back up, but there's a Pulse Bomb. Connects on the Clowman, blows him to pieces once more. But we have Flower now on the Tracer, working in the back line. Tire out, gets Mikey, and XL2 is still fighting.
They are still fighting. Mangachu still alive on this point with the Junkrat now. He is getting challenged by Za on the Genji, so they will be able to force them back just a bit. Mangachu trying his best to kite around another pulse bomb out from Flower. Moopy falls.
Flower's building these so quickly, but gets cut down at the knees. Finally putting an end to that. Overtime in progress, and yet Mayhem Academy looking like they will be getting that shot at point B, as XL2 cannot reasonably expect to come back into this point.
Ooh. That is the sigh of relief that Mayhem Academy really needed now. 4 minutes added onto their clock, 3 minutes 50, moving on to point B, but they did expend a lot of ultimates onto it. Are they going to be able to snowball into this? It's very unlikely, as Adam has swapped off onto, of course, the Ana now. He's got to be careful for that dive.
This is not really a snowball situation, but if Goliath gets picked early for any reason, you can transform it into one. Paintbrush, though, under pressure in the back, and down he goes. It was Midnight in the flanking DPS of Flower, able to make that happen. And you lose your Mercy early on, you're just like, do we want to invest more into this fight? Za's thinking about it, like, 30 HP, I have a blade, but why would I do this here? I'm just gonna go back to spawn.
And yeah, luckily for them, they were able to get Clone Man out, so that just means that Adam's not going to be able to build up that nano boost as quickly as they wanted. Even though Clone Man had started off the fight, taking out Paintbrush, it's huge for them. Now, Paintbrush coming back into this fight, he's going to have the Valkyrie here. So, he's going to have to be careful. Adam, we'll see if his Biotic Nade can just shut down that Valk.
Very well could. Mayhem, they're in a risky spot here where a Valkyrie really is not enough in most cases to take the fight, but they're going to invest it. They've committed the Valkyrie early on. Oh, he was trying to climb to the top and didn't. He wanted to clear the rafters with the Dragon Blade with Za, and yet, with 2 falling, it might work out in their favor. He's still able to hold the Blade. Mayhem Academy working at advantage. Adam falls to the end. Blade still ready, and now can be for cleanup. Mayhem Academy off this engage, able to make it work with just the Valkyrie. Here, we have a tire from Mangachu. Doesn't get anything. Shot out of the sky. Mayhem Academy just a little bit away. 6% is all they need, and the Blade is a finishing one. Mayhem Academy, come back.
Yeah, Clone Man was so close to his primal rage there. 4% away. If he could have survived for another second or two, might have been able to stall it out enough for XL2 to come back and get their reinforcements, regain their footing. But I mean, they started it all off. It was a great dive going out onto Goliath, taking him out of the equation first. And that's why we saw when he came back, when he respawned, he had to use his Transcendence just to get onto the point.
And that was the key pick that we kind of noted, right? Where it's like, okay, well, you need to kill Goliath first here. Maybe then it'll work. And, well, you get the key pick off, and suddenly things look a bit rosier. And you are able to make that happen with just the Valkyrie in that moment.
And so now Mayhem Academy, they have their lifeline. They've got 2 minutes and 13 seconds on their time bank. As XL2, they are moving on to the offense here, and we did get to see some of Mangachu's May before. So now, this is a real possibility. We saw the Torbjorn on Numbani point on the second point. I am not going to question this whatsoever. Go ahead, Mangachu, do whatever you want.
I think for XL2, it's a case where, all right, the first point defense was super dominant. Yeah, you might have messed up on point B, but if they do something a little bit quirky, I won't be too surprised. I will tell you that's not going to be Goliath on the Pharah. Like, let us dispel that nonsense here. That is not going to happen. Nor the Bastion. Goliath, keep dreaming. Keep shooting fire strikes to the moon, Clone Man. Someday. Just don't throw rocks. Some people say that could cause disaster.
And so now, XL2 Academy on their offense. Looks like they do want to run like a kind of variation on the Slambulance. They've got the Lucio along with the Moira, but Clone Man has now since swapped off on to that Winston. So 2-2-2, Mangachu will be going out with this May.
And it is for real, and it can work. It's not a strategy where you go, oh man, a May. It's like, no. If you can split people off, especially when they're not used to playing it, look, you've cut off the Junkrat spam. You've created an avenue to go straight onto the point and not feed a bajillion ultimate in the beginning, although he gets to turn around and get 44% of the ult in one fell swoop there. So it's not great, but the splitting happens and Mangachu is cut out of it. Mayhem working around the wall, and yet they've lost Mikey. It's 5-on-5, and XL2's already gotten a tick.
They've already gotten one tick now, and they've got to be careful. Moopy low, but he's finished off. Midnight will take him out. Second tick coming on in as Paintbrush will be able to res Moopy back into this, but they lost more during that. So now here comes the Riptire. Will Zaw be able to equalize? Goliath falls to it.
They get Goliath, and it's a nice pick, but this is such a brawl that's so good for the offense in this situation. Flower can get one more pick off. That's going to be all they need. D-Mex Krems gets Moopy. Uncontained in the back is Flower, and he has done enough for XL2 Academy. He is the king of the chaos, and this point will be captured.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have some swap-offs. Mangachu to get back to the point faster. He went over to that Soldier 76, so double hit scan possibly. Now as XL2 push forward with those swaps, Mayhem Academy not really changing much up. Moopy has changed though. Now going over to the Winston. It's gonna be the high ground that XL2 are trying to take. And it'll be great, but they're setting up a crossfire. Mangachu on the left side, and we have Flower on the right side. So which threat do you deal with as Mayhem Academy?
It is a little bit weird, but because Mangachu is more split off, it makes sense to put him on the left, put Flower on the right because McCree needs more support. Mangachu, a little bit more freelance. Can he get the Mercy? He does! Flower sets the table, Mangachu slams it right down. And now, XL2 with a great opportunity. Flower setting this up. They have lost Midnight, and yet they can still pressure him. Losing Goliath? No, not so much. Mayhem Academy, they've probably gotten enough to stabilize. Don't tell it to Flower, but when you see the next wave of respawns coming in, XL2 just isn't gonna have the manpower, and we see Flower just get flanked from the side.
So, XL2 just weren't able to get much done off of that. Goliath will be swapping off now. He's going over to the Zenyatta. Give them a little bit more finishing power with the damage boosting orb, the Orb of Discord. Mangachu takes a grenade to the face, but he does have the backup of his team. And he's also got the tactical visor, so Krems has to stay on top of him.
Mangachu walks in, gets a bob to the face, goes, nope, I'm going other door. Goes off to the left door, the main group of XL2 coming in from the front, and this is smart to a degree. If they don't look for Mangachu, he's getting plenty of damage in on the flank, and if you go for him, he's gonna sprint away. The goal here is that you either give me free damage, or I draw you away. Either way, it's not bad for XL2 in the situation. It's a unique take where normally they put the soldier on top, and XL2, they're starting to muscle their way through, and a large part was Mangachu poking from the back, and Zaw almost falls.
Yeah, Moore also took a headshot there. Sound barrier is going to be used by XL2 early here. Mangachu dropped low. He needs some HP. Goliath starts it all off. They've got the D-Mech on Krems. That's going to allow Mangachu and Flower to come in, but here's the Riptire. It gets taken out by Mangachu.
And double hit scan's really good at neutralizing tires in these situations. It's not as easy to make it work. Midnight might have fallen, but the tac visor is in. Mangachu, though, didn't really like what he had in his sights. Coleman's going to fall, and XL2, for all their glory and bluster here, they don't really threaten Mayhem Academy. They have yet to get a tick.
They have yet to get a tick indeed. 4 minutes and 30 seconds now. Looks like possible swap-offs. Flower is running back towards spawn. Is it back towards safety or to change up heroes instead? No, he's going to stick with it now. Mangachu is also sticking with this Soldier 76. So still, even though they are starting these fights off, getting an initial pick, they haven't been able to just land that finishing blow.
Flower's gonna swap, but remembered, I have an appointment at noon. Deadeye, locked and loaded here. Can't really open within many cases, but if you seize an opportunity, it can catch a team off guard. XL2 still preferring the slow approach right now, trying to use the Orisa to get through, but it's this Junkrat spam from Zaw that continues to come in, breaks the shield, gets people in the back line, coming very close to building another tire, and now you see the opening. Nano boosted Winston just dunks on Flower, and the time might now be past noon.
Yeah, they did press him back into this, but still Zaw is in this power position. He's holding this angle. There is the tire coming out now. He's gonna break LOS, just send it in from underneath. Having a little bit difficulty getting to the high ground, but there it is. Lands on the Clone Man, who survives for now through that fortified.
Well, noon has passed. It wasn't a very productive meeting. McCree wasting his time, and Moopy just picks off 2. Now you got to reset, and this might be the end of the McCree.
Yeah, this is the swap. It's not working out for you at all. The Junkrat is doing too much. Clone Man, I believe, should also swap off. That Orisa shield, it is not enough.
Okay.
Flower, Widowmaker, all right. We'll see how this works out, but Clone Man will swap off onto the Winston.
This is desperation mode, but they are going to get a little bit of counter Junkrat play as well. So Flower taking on a challenge here. It's not the easiest point to get Widow pickoffs, and yet if Mayhem Academy isn't prepared, this could in fact turn the tide where he had a chance to get Zen there, just wasn't able to capitalize.
Pulse bomb out from Mikey A. It does not connect onto anything other than a wall now. Flower just slowly inching forward with that Widowmaker. Mangachu with the swap off onto the Junkrat, already starting it off. Zaw has fallen.
Oh!
Flower reading Mikey A like a book. They
Flicked.
get that shot onto him, and so now they have two-man advantage pushing forward. Primal Rage used by Moopy just to keep them zoned off the point.
This is looking pretty good for XL2, but you can't lose Midnight, you can't lose Clone Man. Midnight, 33 HP, but not demeched. This is a huge swing in the fight, the fact that he wasn't demeched there.
Trance was used too.
They can go back in, they have a Transcendence of their own. Moore finally goes down, Flower doesn't miss that time. 6 on 5 for XL2. Mayhem Academy in a very tough spot here. Flower hasn't quite gone to the high ground yet, is being a little bit sneakier about his positioning. If they can get just 1 or 2 more kills, XL2 will have what they need to take this point. Krems is gonna get demeched, and the momentum is going all the way with XL2. Mayhem gets Midnight gets demeched, but he's gonna be able to get back in.
Now Moore has fallen. They just used that rest to bring Mangachu back into this. So the healing is going to be wholly reliant upon Adam, who is getting closer towards that Valkyrie now. Great pickups coming out. Mayhem Academy, they're just trying their best to stall this out right now. Mangachu dropping back and Za answering right on back.
It is a melee here on the point, and XL2, they're so close yet so far, and the tire is taken down. Flower saying, no, you're not having this tire stagger us and pull us out of this engagement. We might be bloodied, we might be regrouping, but we're not giving you a moment of rest when you want it most. 2 ticks for XL2, a minute to go.
A minute to go, and they need to do it with any time remaining on the clock right now. Mayhem Academy, they still have 2 minutes, 13 seconds in time. Mangachu starts it off. Paintbrush is gone. They were looking for that nano boost onto Moopy. Krems will have to use his self-destruct as he gets focused down.
Oh, Moopy is gone, but the self-destruct caught Midnight. He wasn't able to get back to his mech, but he's gonna get rezzed. That'll get him back into his mech. However, he's gonna do heavy lifting. Clone Man out of the fight. Mikey caught him on the flank. Mangachu under pressure, tire ready, gets healed up. This is the fight that never ends. But Midnight was just ended. 25 seconds left, and finally a reset. XL2 against the wall.
And if XL2 are gonna do this, they need to do it within the next 15 seconds right now. Mayhem Academy, they are poised. Just send them into overtime. If not, put a complete stop to them now. Rip Tire coming on in. It connects. Paintbrush not able to make it back, but Mikey Adam's right back. Adam's gone.
Yeah, Adam is out of there. Now you don't have to worry about Adam getting a Valkyrie. Mikey might have just put the dagger in the heart of XL2 here on this attack. Za with the tire, doesn't get anything, doesn't need to. XL2 under the gun here. A desperation transcends coming out as Mikey looks to commit herbicide, and no! Flower says absolutely not. Gets Mikey, and yet how much longer can they last? Flower ends up dying. Overtime ticking down, and Mayhem close to being in a very good situation after what was a very rocky start.
So they keep their series hopes alive with this map victory. Now it's 2-1, still in favor of XL2. Now it's still an uphill battle, like ZPU had mentioned. We're going to West Coast. Nene gets unlocked.
Nene will be coming in. Mikey is essentially going to get nerfed, and it might be a new ball game. And yet, again, Mayhem has brought themselves back from the brink here. It was a rough start, and they are 1 map away from forcing a map 5, so anything could happen.
Where was the turnaround point with that? Because Mayhem was really, they were on the bricks.
They were indeed, but Za going over to the Junkrat made a huge difference. It allowed Mikey A to be able to follow up on a lot of that explosive damage again and created so much space for him. We got to see continually when they were on the defense, he was in that back line. He was going after the supports over and over again. So Mikey A really got to come alive because Za came alive.
I would also say that the double hit scan offense coming in from XL2 was not particularly great. You didn't have the explosiveness that you get from a Genji Dragon Blade or a Tire or something on the projectile realm. They were getting kills, but they were never killing everyone at the same time. And that's the name of the game in Assault, is that you need to cleanly deal with the other team, and they never had a moment like that. They didn't get from their DPS, they didn't get from their tanks, and that's why they struggled so much on that attack.
All right, well, we are going to go ahead and jump right into map selection. And we are going to be visiting Dorado, your favorite of all of the cities.
No surprise here, and why not? This is a Flowers playground, to say the least, where he's going to have options on Widowmaker. He's going to have options on Genji, and it's very likely to be combined here with Nene from what we know about XL2. So this is sort of hard mode for Mayhem Academy in more ways than one.
So explain why Nene's being switched in now.
So they do like to run him on the West Coast servers instead of the East Coast servers because, well, playing from Korea, going on to West Coast, it's about 120 ping, but if you go over to East Coast, that's going to be putting him around 170, 180, almost unplayable areas. So that's the primary reason why. That's what they said on Twitter.
Right, and to be clear, it's just the way that Overwatch netcode works in those situations, right? Where generally speaking, the server will trust the client up until a point, but at about 180, 190 ping, it stops. And this is a North American competition, even though teams are using some of these players playing from out of country. And that's one of the sort of handicaps you sign yourself up for, is that, look, if you're playing with a guy from Korea and you get put on East Coast servers, it's going to be pretty difficult. But now that they get server choice, they can bring it to West, they can bring out Nene, and he can be pretty effective. The problem is that Mikey's going to be right up against that barrier, and it's going to be much harder for him if he's played.
All right, so it sounds like Mayhem's going to have a bit more of a struggle, not even just, raw mechanical play, but just struggle from the tech side of things as well to keep this and hopefully reverse sweep.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough road indeed. And look, if they're able to make it work, it's going to be incredible. The problem is that their issue has been with tank initiations, and Dorado is a map that stresses that heavily, especially second point Dorado, where if your tanks aren't able to coordinate and make good room, you're not going to be able to deal with the verticality elements of this map. And it's why bringing this tier to Dorado is very smart from XL2.
Yeah.
We've also seen a pretty strong flank play coming out from the XL2 side of things, and that's going to, in accordance also with what's going on with the tank play and all of it all together, it seems like they're going to be outflanked in this one.
Yeah, one of the things is activating Nene into this matchup. It allows him to go over to the Tracer role and Flower go more over to the projectile role, which is more of his comfort zone, right? We got to see some Tracer. We got to see Widowmaker along with his McCree, but he does find himself more comfortable if he gets to play something like a Junkrat or even a Pharah if he wants to. So this is really going to open up his hero pool even more.
Alrighty, well, let's see how things shake down. We're going to head over to Dorado for the beginning of our fourth map in this series to see if Mayhem can tie this up.
You know, Jamerson, I'm always in awe of Dorado because it's such a well-maintained community. When you have a company like Lumerico that really cares for its citizens, keeps the crime rate at 0, and is just so helpful to the community as a whole, it's just a great place to live in.
Yeah, unlimited supply of pinatas also. But surprise, surprise here. XL2, they are running Nene, but it's not going to be in conjunction with Flower. It's going to be Nene and Mangachu to start this all off for the offense. Mayhem Academy on their defense, though. Za on the Soldier 76, and of course, Mikey A will be on that Tracer. They're going to go for that really divey stall composition here on the defense.
So this is a combination we've not seen from XL2 before. Previously in the last week, they did not run Nene and Mangachu at the same time. It was Flower, 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 and adapt all around. But this does give XL2 a chance to put Mangachu more in the spotlight. And also for Nene, even though we know his Tracer is very good, we get to see him back on Widow again, even though from what we know of the two players, it still put Flower's Widow a bit above Nene's.
So Goliath will swap back over to that Zenyatta. Now is Nene slowly creeping out with this Widowmaker. He hasn't made his sights known just quite yet. Doesn't want to take the high ground, but he's got to be careful. There's a Tracer right above him.
Right now, I don't respect Mikey, because look at that. He gets taken down by Goliath immediately. He's going to have to adapt to this much more significant ping, which means he's going to get picked off earlier like that over and over again. So you can play more aggressive. Don't give the Tracer that much respect until he proves that he's adapted.
So now Mayhem Academy falling back here. The payload hasn't been pushed through the checkpoint, through the choke point quite yet. But Nene able to position himself into the courtyard now. Mayhem Academy, they have to be careful on this approach because they don't know where he is. Oh.
And, well, Za just found out a bullet to the head. He's going to get rezzed up. Paintbrusher's still able to get the res, but look at Mangachu in the back. That's a nice rocket approach that he had, but he wasn't able to finish it out. It was on the razor's edge, and Za off the res, able to get a little bit of revenge, and XL2 has not gotten through this courtyard yet. I think they might have counted their chickens before they hatched.
Yeah, but XL2 still have plenty of time, 2 minutes and 50 seconds now. Mangachu got really aggressive there, but it looked like they were able to just peel back and stop a lot of his damage. Oh, Mikey A almost got taken out. Those micro missiles did a lot of damage, but he did have that recall there. There's a recon visor for Nene.
Mikey's going to have to recall a lot earlier than normal here, so you're not going to be able to see him being as aggressive as he normally would. Meanwhile, Nene looking for Mikey, not able to get the shot there, but while this is going on, you have Mangachu in the flank. Got more, paintbrush again, a gutsy res, works out, ends up restoring their strength, doesn't die in the process. Barrage up, and Barrage immediately used. Moopy turned into Soupy there as a rain of rockets just takes him out.
That was just great timing coming out from Mangachu. He already knew, he saw the Diva actually starting to retreat, and he knew, well, the defense matrix isn't there. I'm going to be able to barrage this. She's not even going to be able to get into my face so that I take splash damage. So now, it does look like he might be swapping off. Never mind, he's sticking with it.
Yeah, it did look like Mangachu was considering for a moment, do I go Genji here? I don't think they need to. I think the Pharah is perfectly fine. And, oh my goodness, Mikey pushed off from Nene in the moment. And XL2 not under pressure here as they continue to get payload progress. Oh no, Mikey has to be careful of this Widow pressure.
Yeah, Nene's just on the hunt. He is reading his movements right now, trying to hunt him down. But he will be able to push forward. He knows a lot of the cooldowns on that Tracer are down. As they spot him out going into the vault, they're going to try and defend here.
Meanwhile, Nene going, all right, I guess Mikey's not going to come from this other end. I guess I'll go into main area, and this is a nice position to be his Widow. Mikey challenges him on the top, forces him back. He's going to go back up. Had a moment to get the tac visoring soldier, decides no. The problem is that Za didn't get anything off of this tac visor. Mayhem Academy uses a valuable ult. Now they're down a person. Moopy, is he gonna get out? Za gets taken away. Moopy running for his life, getting healed by Mercy, will get out, but the damage has been done. XL2 on the hunt.
Oh, Mikey A. That's a full retreat there now. Mayhem Academy regrouping XL2 as they push forward. Got a few more meters to go. They're gonna have the recon visor spot out anything, and you've seen Nene. Once he does pop it, he's just keeping track of Mikey A.
And Mikey, well, he doesn't need a recon visor this time. Mikey just sprinting hard at Nene on the top. Nene going to get supported, and now looking for Mikey. Over the top, now under assault. Mikey almost has him 2 HP and down. Meanwhile, Adam got blown up on the other end. XL2 not gonna be able to maintain momentum here. They will have to reset.
They do reset there. Nene thought he had the 1v1. He sent his Mercy away. So Mikey A even getting the D-Mech onto Midnight. It's gonna stagger them out. This is a great place to stall that out right now. XL2, they've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but this is where teams really run into a stumbling block.
Getting through Dorado second is hard, period. No easier way to say that, and teams do not get through here on a regular basis. And XL2 now facing that demon.
Indeed, but they're gonna try and smite it with more going down now. I don't even know. Mangachu, he's gonna be able to push forward. He doesn't have to worry about the Discord orb. Krebs does as he gets D-Mech. Now Mikey A will be able to take out Nene again, but still it's a man advantage for XL2. Mangachu will go for the barrage as Moopy jumps right in his face. The resurrection gets interrupted.
Here's the thing, Moore was one who got picked off there. He had Transcendence not coming in. Mangachu kills him again. More pressure coming in over the top. Mikey, one of the last ones to contest, still alive, but for how long? Takes a rocket to the feet, and Midnight gives him that good old Diva fist bump of death. XL2 crushing on through, 3 minutes left.
3 minutes left. They almost got held there, but they were able to break through. So Mangachu, he's sticking with the Pharah, and you know what? The skybox is actually pretty high once we get into the inner portion here of Lumerico. So it's fine to continue running it. Nene on this Widowmaker though, I don't know how they keep creating space for him.
They're making space for him, even though Mikey has had a reasonable job of hunting him in the last few bits. I don't think he's going to stand the Widow beyond this next recon site. This is not a great Widow playing, and yeah, you see Moopy under pressure here. Mangachu almost getting him, and it's Cloman though who goes a little bit too far out. But Nene, the equalizer off the grapple, gets more, gets Moopy. Now both teams missing a tank, but not for long. Cloman brought back up, but Adam pays for it. Zawa's on the flank with the tac visor, equaling out, but there's still Nene on the flank, and he gets more.
They have no clue where he is. They have no clue where Nene is right now. And so they will get the D-Mech onto Krems, finally applying pressure onto Nene now, but he grapple hooks away, still getting hunted down now by Moopy, but Moopy's gone too far. He's able to jump out with just a sliver of HP. Clone Man, will he be able to survive himself?
Clone Man was super low, and that could come back to haunt Mayhem Academy, but they weren't able to finish that off. They have to use the res on Krems here early on. XL2 reestablishing the barrage from Mangachu. Gets one in a sense while also blowing himself up. But Adam, he's right there. He's going to bring him back into the fray. Nene has been just a constant terror in the back. XL2 wounded, both their tanks hurt. They're gonna wait for them to get healed up before going back in. But you see this constant pressure coming in here. Down goes Moopy, and the Mayhem are in trouble.
Transcendence now as they push forward. Moopy's gone, so it's a 6v5. Damage boosted rockets coming out. Mikey A is forced to use that recall. Paintbrush was able to bring Moopy back into this. The pulse bomb does not connect for Mikey A. It is all XL2 until Krebs finally answers back. Mangachu falling, but that is fine. He's gonna get res back into this. And so now in the final minute, XL2 will push this forward. Will anyone be able to make it onto the point? No, XL2 walk away 54 seconds in their time bank.
You saw the late Lucio swap going out there. It's like, all right, guys, speed. We're dead. Can't even say boost. That is a rather big statement here for Dorado. Not only have you completed the map, but you've completed the map with almost a minute left. That means you got through point B.
And they completed it with Widow Pharah the whole time. Widow Pharah the whole time, which is not a composition you generally see here on the third point of Dorado.
No, definitely not. I thought for sure we'd see Nene swap there because that is what you usually do. The sightlines just are not that great for Widow here. There have been rare moments like we just saw where Widow is able to make it work. It's not that it can't work, it's just it's usually not ideal.
Yeah, it's easy for the tanks like D.Va and Winston to be able to just close the gap because, well, it's a very short distance there.
Adam, I just feel like, are you trying to tell me something by locking Genji and unlocking?
Well, he was doing a little bit of like changing in like Morse code, I believe. Do you know Morse?
I do not know Morse code. At least that's what I would say if I actually knew Morse code. Because
you're looking at me in Morse though, right now.
Look, let me just have my...
Adam, you're a coward.
Let me just have my communication with Adam, Jamerson. It's our thing. You're exposing it to the public. But yes, he is a coward. Play Genji. So is Cruz.
I mean, Cruz went off though. He went Battle Mercy, so we'll see. Adam, are you going to go Battle Mercy at this point? Now, XL2, they completed out the map. They need to put a stop to Mayhem here so they can get that third map victory and their second overall series victory.
And this would be big for XL2, especially given how the last week went down, particularly given the expectations for this team. The road ahead of Mayhem is going to be tough overall, and they're going to need a stand-up performance here from Zon the Genji, where his Genji has historically been more hit and miss. It's not quite as good as his Pharah.
So XL2 changing some things up on their defense. Clone Man going over to the Orisa, Goliath on the Moira. They are continuing to run Nene on that Widowmaker and Mangachu on that Pharah.
And I think Mangachu was expecting to see Za on the Pharah. That's why he decided to go a Pharah of his own. So we'll see how long he decides to stay on it here. But defensive Pharah in Courtyard isn't that bad to begin with, regardless of what you're up against. So long as you don't have to worry about a Widow that's just going to ruin your day.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about a Widow, a Soldier 76, or even a McCree coming out. They're just running standard dive out from Mayhem Academy. Ooh, Za gets tagged by some rockets as he was forced out of position with a concussive blast now. But take a look, Mangachu was just able to get so much chip damage off.
And now the engage comes in from Mayhem. They go, okay, this is about as good as it's gonna get. We dive in. They put pressure on Mangachu, but they're not able to finish him. Meanwhile, damage boosted rockets doing so much damage to the backline. Moopy down at half HP. Nene, unchecked over the top. How long can you live before he actually snipes someone down here? And Mayhem, they're just not able to commit to this the way they need to. They give Mangachu too much time, and this is going to go fully in favor of XL2.
And I thought things were actually looking pretty good for Mayhem there because Paintbrush was able to get so much healing off. He got a very early Valk, but Krem's got demeched, and once you get demeched and you're trying to hide from a Pharah, sorry, the damage is getting through. Mangachu was just able to punch it forward with those rockets.
He got not just good rockets, but damage-boosted rockets that are splashing 2, 3 people at a time. Look, you either commit to killing Mangachu early or you commit to a very quick ground fight. You can't, like, try and do a mix of both because it's not going to work.
So now, Nene, once again on the high ground here. He's going to change up his angle just a bit as Zaya swapped off onto the Soldier 76 to try and answer Mangachu, but is it going to be too late? Barrage comes out from above. Not able to get much off of it, but he will get rezzed back into this.
Adam Brave brings Mangachu back into the fight and survives. Paintbrush doing the same. Death's not permanent right now. Mikey dashing around. Pulse bomb ready, and yet Mayhem Academy, they decide, okay, we're going to reset. But now they're starting to run out of time. Only a minute 50 left. That's 2, maybe 3 attacks.
Yep, a minute 50 left. Mayhem Academy. With Za swapping off, he still hasn't gotten that tactical advisor yet. He hasn't been able to do any damage through that Orisa barrier along with a D.Va defense matrix. And so now, Nene is holding the angles. He knows that the Tracer's over on the right-hand side. Does not connect with that shot, but he does have the backup to be able to back up himself and get himself onto the high ground.
You don't mind? It'll be triggered here. Just D.Va in Nene's sights. And you're going to see the Supercharger come down from XL2. And you see Mayhem, they don't really want to fight into that. Supercharger is dangerously powerful. And if you can avoid fighting into it, you want to. As Magnitude goes, cowards, no running from me. Gets a little bit poked from the outskirts and still might be looking for more.
Yeah, right now, Nene and Mangachu are just doing so much damage to both Moopy and Krems that Krems, the tank line, aren't able to even jump in at all. They are just left trying to fall back. Pulse Pump gets eaten. Sorry, Mikey. Transcendence. Mayhem push forward.
Nene got Zaz, who's trying to go in. Now who's going to check Mangachu? The answer is no one coming in over the top. Gonna get more, and he's not done yet. Pressure from the back, pressure in the front. The DPS duo of Nene and Mangachu is working out quite well in their debut. 30 seconds left.
Just far too much space afforded to the XL2 Academy DPS right now. Nene and Mangachu. With this long-range poke, the damage booster rockets coming out from Mangachu is just putting a complete stop to Moopy and Krems. Now Mikey A is swapped off. He's going for this Widowmaker. He's trying to go for the Hail Mary.
The Hail Mary is shooting Mangachu before he makes it rain, drizzle on your entire team. And now they're going for it, and Mikey A gets counter-sniped. This is why you haven't seen him on Widow to begin with. And Mangachu from the back, it's a hailstorm! 3 kills from Mangachu off the barrage. Goodbye, good night. The streets are closed, the weather's too stormy. XL2 gonna take the series on Dorado.
They take the series, they take the 3-1. And so now, XL2 Academy, they put themselves back into a very strong position, making the top 4.
Yeah, they took the series. What is this now in the map difference?
I believe this puts XL2 like around 7 or 8 maps at this point. So it does get them within contention for second, but not first.
And the key here is that Grizzlies were losing earlier in the day, right? Where Toronto could still easily come ahead of XL2, even if they had lost to the Grizzlies. But the fact that the Grizzlies dropped the set earlier today means that XL2 can take a bit of a sigh of relief here because they have good map scores. They're able to take the series rather convincingly. And now I believe they might not even need to win next week to get into playoffs, but if they do, it's pretty winnable for them next week. So XL2 can feel a lot better about their chances right now.
Yeah, it looked like we had the same kind of situation. When we had Flower on the Widowmaker, Flower was having a field day. He never had any pressure, and he was being able, had control of his range no matter where he was at. And it looks like they gave the exact same space to Nene.
Yeah, I mean, it came down to, I would say, resource management for Krems. He wasn't able to block a lot of the rockets that was coming out from Mangachu. It looked like he just never really had a defense matrix to try and deal with it, so Mangachu was consistently landing those damage-boosted rockets onto him. I mean, we actually got to see that during Numbani when he opened up with the offensive Pharah. He was doing the same thing to Krems, making sure he wasn't staying in the mech, and that really allowed Nene to just come alive with the Widowmaker, and along also Flower in that same vein.
Also, let's give credit where credit is due. We were very hard on Mangachu last week because, frankly, it was not a good performance last week. He was very good this week. It was probably the best performance he's had all season long. So Mangachu, whether it's just training, making sure he got a good night's sleep, whatever it might have been, he was far better today, and that is very good for XL2's chances going forward.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in the forums were really excited at the prospect of seeing Mangachu and Nene get back together, and the fact that they did, and the fact they played so well together, given kind of how it was a bit of a train wreck last week. I know there's a lot of people out there that are relieved and celebrating this right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, this was definitely a redemption story for Mangachu this week, and he did, come in and get a 3-man barrage, and that's just a beautiful barrage. That's a barrage every Pharah hopes for.
So moving forward, seeing, considering that this was kind of the turning point for XL2, this was, like you said, lets them breathe a sigh of relief for playoffs. How do you see them stacking up in playoffs, given that it looks like Fusion is also going to be pushing through into the finals where is this going to go for them?
Well, it really depends on which stage, right? What the final matchups are in the end, how you break down the player-to-player setups. And then, of course, you have the wild card of how players will perform in a live environment, where we've seen many cases Overwatch where some players, like your Mikey A's of the world, are much better on LAN than they are online. Conversely, you have players that, look at most of the main Mayhem's roster where they had to bring things in an online or live environment, and their first few outings for that were rather bad last year. So it's always tough to tell how a team is going to perform when you put them in that live environment.
All right.